The time being 9:30, I would like to call this meeting of the Long Range Capital Planning and Utilization Committee to order. And there is a quorum present. First order of business is approval of the minutes from our March 28th meeting. Do I have a motion? Been moved by Senator D'Alessandro, seconded by Representative Edgar, that the minutes of our last meeting be approved. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
I abstain. I think I wasn't, looks like I wasn't here.
Yeah, I abstain as well.
It still passes. Thank you. Old business. LRCP 22-009, Department of Transportation, authorization to dispose of 2 ± acre parcel of state-owned land located on the northeasterly corner of New Hampshire Route 111 and New Hampshire Route 28 in the town of Wyndham by entering into a listing agreement for a term of 1 year with Berkshire Hathaway Vernay Realty for the listing price of $120,000, allowing negotiations within the committee's current policy guidelines and pursuant to RSA 443 Roman 3-A, assess an administrative fee of $1,100 subject to the conditions as specified in the request dated March 8th, 2022. This was brought up at the last meeting, and we postponed final action on it until today. It was tabled. So,
Thank you,
The
Mr.
department.
Chairman. Steve Labonte, the Administrator of the Bureau of Right-of-Way, New Hampshire Department of Transportation. This item is moot. What the department has done is taken it off the market, and we're going to retain it and look for opportunities to use it for mitigation credit on future projects. So we'd ask that the committee either find it moot or refuse it, or
I've been reminded I was remiss in one thing. I would accept the motion to remove this from the table.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Been moved and seconded that by Representative Mills and Representative Clutie that remove it from the table. And we've heard the department talk about that. We will have a vote. All those in favor of taking it off the table, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it, and it's off the table, and we've heard from the department. Do we need a vote, Senator D'Alessandro?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think what Mr. Labonte said makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You kept lowering the price, and nobody wants it. Why should we shouldn't give it away? We paid dearly for this property. To the best of my knowledge, we paid a fortune for this land. And it's worth, for mitigation purposes, it's worth retaining. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I support your premise. I make
you,
your
Senator.
premise an axiom. I take it from the postulate version and make it axiomatic.
Thank you, Senator D'Alessandro. And that was the essence of our discussion at the last meeting was we keep lowering the price and we're going to end up,
Giving it away.
yeah, giving it away. All right. I don't think we need, if it's been withdrawn, is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Then we will, I'm sure, hear about this at some future meeting from a future legislative body. Moving on to new business under RSA 439-C, disposal of highway or turnpike funded real estate. LRCP 22-014, Department of Transportation, authorized to sell 4.903 ± acres of state-owned land with improvements located on the southerly side of New Hampshire Route 16, White Mountain Highway, in the town of Madison, directly to Calvin J. Coleman and Son Incorporated for $396,100, which includes a $1,100 administrative fee pursuant to RSA 440 Roman 3-A, subject to the conditions as specified in the request dated April 25th, 2022. I will elicit information from the department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As just stated, the subject property is 4.9 acres. It was appraised at $395,000 plus an $1,100 administrative fee. This acquisition was done under eminent domain. It was condemned upon and actually ended up in Superior Court and was part of a global settlement. So at that time, the department acquired 5.04 acres improved with a commercial building, and we paid $558,000 for it. The problem arises is that the building was intended, if the bypass was built, the building was going to be raised and the bypass.
If you could turn your, yeah.
The department acquired a temporary construction easement that would allow for the raising of the building. Right now, 28% of the building sits on the abutting property, Mr. Coleman's property. So selling it directly to him actually benefits both the department and Mr. Coleman, because otherwise we would have had to value the property as vacant land and then deduct the cost of raising the building because it sits on the abutting property. Also acquired in that acquisition was a 10,032 square foot drainage easement, a 37,071 square foot temporary slope easement, a 4,779 square foot temporary drive easement, a 9,558 square foot temporary construction easement. The department is retaining 50 feet, a 50-foot wide right-of-way. And as I just mentioned, the department, both the department and grantee benefit from this sale as on the building. Again, I want to say we overpaid for this, as what happens when you're doing eminent domain. What happens is we condemn on the property based on our appraisal. It goes to the BTLA. They come up with their finding. This one then got appealed to the Superior Court. I'm happy to take questions.
Senator D'Alessandro?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one. When are we going to be finished with disposing of all of the property we purchased for the Conway bypass? Remember, I lived in Conway, so I know a little bit about the Conway bypass. That never came to fruition. But now, how much did we pay back to the feds? 25 million or 30 million? Wasn't that our?
We're the last figure I had heard, we're on the hook for around 28 million.
28 million, and we've got to get decent prices for these properties. I hope we're vigilant. I recognize that we tried this a long time ago, and obviously it was a good idea when you look at the traffic, but indeed it never came to fruition. So we have to do what we have to do. But I think the board, this group ought to be cognizant of the fact that we paid dearly for all of this property. And we're getting out of it. We had to pay the government back. We had to pay the feds back about 28 million. So we have to be cautious as we're going forward. It's our job to look at these
I
things.
think we are. And for those of us who are on transportation, the Senator or Public Works and Highways, we've continued to hear about Conway and have to repay the federal government, federal highway for the money that we invested in that. What's the pleasure of the committee on item 14?
I move approval.
Senator D'Alessandro moves approval. Representative Cloutier seconds the motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the item is approved.
Is this another one?
Yep. Item LRCP 22-015, Department of Transportation. Authorization to sell .09 plus or minus of an acre of state-owned land located behind 530 Eastman Road in the town of Conway, directly to David R. Smith in the amount of $21,100, which includes $1,100 administrative fee pursuant to RSA 440, Roman 3-A, subject to the conditions as specified in the request dated May 5th, 2022, and the department is up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Department's asking to dispose of 9/100 of an acre on Eastman Road in Conway at a sale price of $20,000 plus the $1,100 administrative fee. The property was acquired in 2006. Total costs at that time were $22,300. The land at that time was appraised at $20,000. The remaining $2,300 went to a 646 square foot construction easement, plus a cost to cure landscaping items. I'm happy to take any questions at this time.
Questions from the committee? I have one. First time I've seen it in any of our things. What is cost to cure fencing?
So when you're acquiring property under the threat of eminent domain for a federal project, you have to make the property owner whole. So if we're coming through, say we have to move signs or we're taking out landscaping, there's a value assigned to that.
Okay, thank you. Just curious. What is the pleasure of the committee on this item? Again, it's part of the Conway bypass and trying to recoup some of the money.
Move to approve.
Senator Birdsell moves approval.
Second.
Senator D'Alessandro seconds the motion. Is there any further discussion on item 22-015? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved. LRCP 22-16, Department of Transportation, authorization to dispose of 2.88 plus or minus acres of state-owned vacant land located at 1 Cronin Road in the town of Exeter, by entering into a listing agreement for a term of 1 year with NIA Norwood Group for the listing price of $500,000 and pursuant to RSA 440, Roman 3-A, assessed at $1,100 administrative fee subject to the committee's current policy guidelines and conditions as specified in the request dated May 6, 2022. And we'll listen to the department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As just stated, the subject property is 2.88 acres on Cronin Road in the town of Exeter. It has been determined to be surplus to the department's needs. The parcel will be marketed at $500,000 plus the $1,100 administrative fee. The property was acquired in 1959 for $412. The sale will accept and reserve for the benefit of the state a 400 square foot drainage easement, a 4,275 square foot, another 4,275 square foot drainage easement, a 4,000 square foot slope easement. The buyer will be responsible to complete a survey and register the plans.
Thank you. Questions from the committee? And the town obviously has first right,
Correct.
as with all of these, okay? What is the pleasure of the committee on this item? Representative Edgar moves approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Senator Birdsell seconds the motion. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval of item 16 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved. Item LRCP 22-017, Department of Transportation. Authorization to, 1, conduct a land swap at no cost to either party with the town of Littleton, New Hampshire, consisting of 1.4 plus or minus acres of state-owned land located on the south side of Riverside Drive for 1.9 plus or minus acres of town-owned land located on St. Johnsbury Road, owned by the town of Littleton, and 2, to pursuant to RSA 440, Roman 3-A, authorization to waive the 1,100 administrative fee, subject to the conditions as specified in the request dated May 13th, 2022. Mr. Labonte.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The state property is 1.4 acres on Riverside Drive. The state would like to exchange this property with the town of Littleton for 1.9 acres on,
Johnsbury Road.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
St. Johnsbury Road.
St. Johnsbury Road, thank you. The subject property was used as a highway garage. It was acquired in 1941 for $500. It was used as a highway garage and cold storage until those structures were raised. It's improved with a wood frame cold storage structure, basically a salt shed, and a steel framed sand spreader storage rack. Department use of the parcel, use of the town's parcel, the department will use for, it's vacant land. The town will use it, the state will use it for a dewatering basin for storage of street waste from catch basins in that area. The value of the state parcel was appraised at $35,000 to $45,000, and the value of the town's parcel was appraised at $45,000 to $55,000. Again, we'd ask that the committee waive the administrative fee which is in its power.
Any questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, what is the pleasure of the committee on item?
Move to approve.
Senator Byrd so moves approval of
second that motion.
LRCP 2217. Representative Cloutier seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved. Before we move on to administrative services, I would say that anybody who is watching this or is in the audience, it seems like we are going fairly quickly. The members have had the packets with all of the information for over a week. The legislative budget assistant provides it to us well in advance so that we can read the information and get any questions answered that we may have. I know it sounds like we're going fast when we try to dispose of real estate, but the truth is that we've all done our due diligence and looked at the packets and know what we are getting ready to vote on. So thank you very much. And I think you do have one informational item you'll be back for. Moving on to RSA 440, disposal of real estate. LRCP 22-013, Department of Administrative Services. Authorization to retroactively enter into a use of premises agreement with the County of Hillsborough, 329 Mass Road, Goffstown, New Hampshire, for leasing 9,433 square feet of office space located on the lower level and first floor of the state-owned property located at Hillsborough County Superior Courthouse North, number 300 Chestnut Street, Manchester, New Hampshire, from January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2024, for an amount not to exceed $378,022.70 for the schedule of annual rent and subject to the conditions as specified in the request dated April 25th, 2022. And Administrative Services.
Good morning. My name is Sarah Lineberry, and I'm the superintendent of the Bureau of Court Facilities for the state and DAS. So good morning, Mr. Chairman and committee members. As you heard, we are here today to seek approval to enter into a retroactive use of premise agreement at the Hillsborough County Superior Court North facility. And of course, it is for the 9,433 square feet of space at the courthouse. That includes space for the county attorneys, sheriff's office, and victim witness space on the first floor and lower level of the courthouse. And of course, the county benefits from the close adjacency of daily courthouse business. And the Bureau of Court Facilities currently does not have need for the space. And so we request your approval today.
Questions for the department? Why retroactive? Why weren't you in here earlier?
I wish I was in here earlier. It is retroactive. We've had some staffing, low staffing levels in my office, and the county has as well. I am happy to report that we just replaced our contract leasing specialist in Bureau of Court Facilities. And I know the county has been struggling with the same situation. So between review and attorneys, and unfortunately, that's why we're here today, retroactively.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the item? Was pleasure of the committee. Senator D'Alessandro moves approval. Representative Mills seconds the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and the motion is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
like the new fence.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
it's
nice?
lovely. It's
Yeah.
lovely.
It really, it turned out to be very attractive, and it helps us.
It does.
Yeah.
It preserves,
We
preserves us.
It does preserve us. Thank you.
we will take up one informational item from the Department of Transportation, LRCP 22-018, Department of Transportation. Informational item proposing the issuance of a temporary use and occupant agreement to the town of Hooksett to authorize the construction of water and sewer extensions, with the department anticipating returning for approval of the permanent utility easement in the fall of 2022, and that the informational item is dated May 13th, 2022. We do not have to take a vote on this at this point. We are neither going to deny it or approve it, but the department did want to explain what was coming.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we want to be transparent about what's going on here. This is a pretty large-scale public project to put water and sewer in a few different districts in the town of Hooksett. It just, we would have loved to come here with the easement for approval at this meeting. It's just that our appraisal section is just backed up and we can't get the appraisal through in time. In order to allow the project to move forward, what we're proposing to do is to enter into a use and occupancy agreement, which would allow the town to go in and construct it. We're talking about a 30-foot wide easement over two parcels of land, of state-owned land on the westerly side of I-93. In the instance that either this committee or governor and council don't approve the easement, the town understands that basically the water line will be there by sufferance. And if the state ever needed that property for a project, or the town would then have to move the lines.
Any questions of the department? Speaking only for myself, and I'm not even speaking for the committee, if it goes forward, I don't see a problem with granting an easement in the fall if you can get it done. But remember, this body turns into pumpkins in early December because the new legislature will be meeting on the first Wednesday after the first Tuesday in December. So this body will go away. So
Or we come back as princesses.
some of us will.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may, so that means we'll have a September meeting and then a November meeting?
We will get to that in a moment.
Thank you. Any other?
Any questions on this? But the only reason I say that is to work hard at it so that, the town isn't just on sufferance for years.
Will do.
Thank you. Which is our final item for today, which comes to meetings in the fall. I do not intend to meet over the summer. I know some of us will be campaigning, some of us will be vacationing. And the speaker said, we're not meeting for anything unless it's an emergency in July and August. So, but if there is an emergency, we can come in if something needs to be done. I would propose, looking at the election calendar, which is important, that we meet on either Monday, September 19th, or Tuesday, September 20th. And I believe, Senator Birdsall, you work Tuesdays?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm flexible.
Would the committee prefer to meet on a Monday morning or Tuesday? It's well after the primary and recounts.
Monday is fine.
Okay, Monday the 19th at 9:30 in the morning. Yep. And then November, let's set a tentative one. I would propose we do it the week after Thanksgiving. Between the general election recounts and everything else, I would propose Monday the 29th of November. Unless somebody,
Mr. Chairman, I think it's
oh,
calendar Monday the 28th.
I looked at the wrong year then.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
The 28th then? 9:30. And that way the departments will know what they have to prepare for. Because let's just be honest, we convene in December for organization days. It will be January or February before all the committees are established with members and meeting to get scheduled around everything else that goes on the first couple months. So the departments probably ought to be warned that after November, it'll probably be sometime in February at the earliest that whoever is chairman of this committee would meet. So thank you for that. And with that, any further items to come before us at this point? Seeing none,
Motion to adjourn. I'll second.
Representative Mills and seconded by Representative Cloutier moves that the long-range capital planning and utilization committee be adjourned. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you all for coming. And for those who are on the next committee, we meet at 10:15.